I'm Max Pringle with these headlines. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a law making it illegal for undocumented people to cross into Texas. It's already illegal under federal law. Supporters say it will help curb record-high illegal immigration. Opponents say it will increase racial profiling. Tony Waterman reports.
Under this new law, state and local police will have the power to arrest anyone they believe is in Texas illegally, punishable by up to 6 months in jail. State judges will also have the power to deport migrants back to Mexico. Critics say people of color will be targeted and that the law won't fix record-high immigration. There were more than 2.4 million apprehensions this fiscal year alone. The law is expected to face a number of legal challenges, especially since immigration enforcement falls under federal jurisdiction. Tony Waterman, Texas.
The U.S. will join 9 other nations in forming a task force to counter attacks on shipping in the Red Sea carried out by Iranian-backed Houthi militias in Yemen. Sagar Magani has more.
The drone and ballistic missile attacks have led several shipping companies to keep their vessels from transiting the Red Sea,
making an artery that carries nearly 12% of global trade essentially inoperable.
Top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell said the U.S. must act.
This is an international problem, and it deserves an international response.
And Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says 9 nations will join the U.S. in either conducting joint patrols in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden or providing intelligence support. The rebels have attacked in the direction of not just commercial vessels, but also U.S. warships. Austin did not answer why the Pentagon has not conducted any counterstrikes. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, have seized the country's second-largest city, Wad Madani, which had taken in hundreds of thousands of refugees from the capital Khartoum early in the 8-month war between the regular army and the paramilitary RSF. The RSF advanced after 3 days of intense fighting, which caused thousands of people to flee the city towards the south. Markets and homes were looted by the army, the police, and some civilians on Sunday, and there were fresh reports of looting by RSF fighters on Monday. During the paramilitary advance on the city, Army intelligence units were reported to have arrested civilians based on their ethnicity, particularly those from Darfur, many of whom have been living in the El Gezira region for decades as agricultural workers. More than 10,000 people have been killed since the war between the two forces, headed by rival generals, erupted in April. 6 million people have been forced to flee their homes, causing the world's largest refugee crisis. The UN said about half of Sudan's population are facing hunger, and more than 20 million children haven't been in school since the start of the war. Both sides have been accused of committing mass rapes of women and girls. North Korea has tested its largest intercontinental ballistic missile, one that could reach any target in the U.S. Leader Kim Jong-un has vowed what he called more offensive actions to repel what he called United States-led threats after watching the 3rd test of his country's most advanced long-range missile. Charles De La Desma has more.
North Korea's Kim threatens the U.S. after watching a powerful missile test. The North says leader Kim Jong-un has vowed more offensive actions to repel what he calls US-led threats after watching the 3rd test of his country's most advanced long-range missile. The Korean Central News Agency says the North test-launched the solid-fueled Hwasong-18 missile designed to strike the mainland US. Its built-in solid propellant makes it harder for outsiders to detect its launches than liquid-fueled missiles. Kim's statement suggests he's confident in his growing missile arsenal and will likely continue weapons testing activities ahead of next year's presidential election in the US. I'm Charles De La Desma.
Vice President Kamala Harris is planning a nationwide series of events focused on abortion starting next month. Her first stop is Wisconsin on January 22nd. The date would mark the 51st anniversary of Roe v. Wade. That's the landmark Supreme Court case that legalized abortion nationwide. The court overturned the decision in 2022 in the case of Dobbs v. Jackson's Women's Health Organization. Harris said in a statement that she would, quote, continue to fight for our fundamental freedoms. Democrats successfully harnessed anger over the loss of abortion rights to stem their losses in the 2022 midterms, and they plan to make the issue a rallying cry in 2024 as well. I'm Max Pringle. You're listening to Sojourner Truth on Pacifica Radio.